So today we're going to be taking a look at Bloodhound. So I already got some credentials and things like that for Bloodhound to be able to run it on it. Okay, so we're going to be looking at a local Windows machine that we have. And I already messed up because I should have made a directory. So let's go ahead and make directory blood because there is going to be a lot of stuff that's passed here. But anyway, LSTAC LA, we can see I got all these new JSON files right at the run that Bloodhound command. So that command up here, just to break it down, we got Bloodhound Python, the domain name, the user to password, our collection method, we're just going to do all. Okay, DNS TCP, sometimes you do have to get rid of that if you're having problems. And then the name server, what the IP address is. Okay, attack name server, that's going to be the IP address that you're going against. So let's go ahead and do a quick move, and we're going to do all those 2020 whatever into blood. All right, CD into blood. And we go ahead and see that all those are in there now. So to start up Bloodhound, we do need to have Neo4j started. As you see, I have that already. Sudo Neo4j console, which comes default in Kali Linux, and also Bloodhound. All right. Once this starts up, you go ahead, run Bloodhound, and then you should have this nice little screen like right here once you log in. If it's your first time using it, Neo4j will pop up. All right, say that you need to change your username and password, and I think it's port 78 or 7878 or 8787 right there. Both is enabled on that interface, but you will get a little thing down here that says like you need to go here. Oh, right here. Remote interface available at 7474, and you do need to change your password. All right, and when you very first use it. Once you log on over here, you go ahead and upload data, and we can go to right where our files are at. And once those are uploaded, we can go ahead and we can search for the user that we are like right now, right? So, or search really whatever you want to search for. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to search for that user that we are. And we are Agna or Ran or whatever, okay? So we go ahead and clear all those. And now that's in there, we can just go ahead and exit off here. There we go. And we are Agna, right? A-G Agna or Ran, okay? If we click on her, we get this like little cool thing over here. Okay, so we can start to look at different things, right? We look at sessions, siblings of the same OU. There's 132. Reachable high value targets, 10. That's unusual. Just so you know, okay, she can actually DC sync straight in. All right, that's unusual, okay? Effective inbound GPOs, okay? What type of group policies are we going up against, right? Are they an admin? Okay, are they compromised? That we can make her compromised. We do. We have her compromised, so we can right click on her and go mark user as owned. All right, so now she's now compromised, right? Keep scrolling down. We see this first degree group membership. So we can look at these different groups and see maybe IT help desk, they could do stuff. Let's see here, executives, they could do stuff. And also domain users, they cannot. Okay, but since we're a member of these different groups, such as executives, let's say, since we're a member of that group, executives can actually DC sync also. Okay. We can also look up, we saw IT help desk, right? So we can look up groups up here and do an IT help desk. Click on that. We can also mark these as owned since we do have a user in that group. All right. And they have generic all over the group of office admin who has get changes and filtered set over invoke local. And then we also have right owner over executives. Okay. I don't know if I ever dealt with right owner. Let's see here. Oh, that's the owner edit and DACL edit. I did get owner edit to work the other day, but not DACL edit. All right, so if we actually right click on this and we go to help, we can see how to abuse this. Now I understand we're abusing a Windows system. However, we ourselves are on Linux. So we're saying, hey, we want to do it in Linux abuse. If we evil win RM in, now we're going to look at the Windows abuse. Okay, now we're going to look at this, right? And how to do it with this, like right here. But since we ourselves are on Linux, we're going to run it this netrpc command like right here. We go ahead and start to work on that and try to become this guy. Get change and filter set, right click, help. I've never done this before. Doesn't really seem like there's abuse, references, info, nothing. There's an error. Okay, there's an error with that one. Okay, we can try one more time. Whoops. Has to delete it. Looks like it does not like get changes and filtered set, but we could always Google it and see what we can do with that, like right there. Right? DC sync. If you right click on that, help, you can see how to abuse that, right? That's going to be a secrets dump. Okay, you do obviously have to know kind of what you're doing because that's going to be domain, user, the password at the domain controller, right? And we can start to kind of work our way down through this. Now, if we click on analysis, we can start to find all domain admins. Okay, so this is every single domain admin right here. All right, so if we're looking for users to become, these are the users that we want to keep in the back of our minds, right? And all those people are also members, if we can't tell, right? Here's domain admins of the IT admins, right? So if we want to take over a group, IT admin is a great group to take over, right? Because all of these people are members of them. All right, we can find principals DC sync rights. There we go. This is all the principals that have DC sync rights or secrets dump, okay, on a target machine, and this is a lot of them. This is a completely random PowerShell script, so this I just got lucky, I guess. No matter what user I am, pretty much has DC sync rights, it looks like. Okay, we can find workstations users can RDP, which I don't think there's anything on here. Find domain admins that are logged in non-domain controllers. Find dangerous privileges. All right, there's a lot of different things you could do on here. Find Kerber roastable users. List all Kerber roastable accounts. There we go. We got a few different Kerber roastable accounts in here. Find ASREP roastable users. So anyone that pre-authentication is not enabled. So since we know that, we should be able to go to a get MP users, right? Tac, it's going to be invoke.local, tac no pass, tac users file, and that's going to be usernames.text. Okay? We can do something like that. We do see that we do drop down some people that have get MP users, obviously, right? So there's something we can do like right there, so we can get all those accounts also. All right. Shortest path from owned principals. So we already own some people, right? So we'll say from Agna. And from Agna, the shortest path is DC sync and invoke.local. So if we were to follow this, like right here, right click help, Linux abuse, go ahead and copy that. Bring that back to ourselves. We can do a secrets dump, and obviously it's going to be domain, right? So invoke.local. Instead of administrator, we are Agna, whatever her name was, right? We'll go ahead and try and grab her name again. Agna Eran, E-R-A-N. Okay, she did have PS on SSW0 the exclamation point, and then the domain controller, whatever the IP address is for the domain controller, which is going to be right up here. Or actually, I don't even do that because I have invoke.local in my Etsy host, so I technically don't even need to do that. But we'll go ahead, we'll throw that in there, enter. And there we go. Now we just did a secrets dump. We now have every single person's password, right? We can actually put that into a file. Into, let's say, hash.text. We can try to use John with format NT. Hash.text, tech format equals NT. All right. And he's going to go through and try to get as many stuff as we possibly can, right? So there we go. Okay, quite a few different usernames that we got here. Quite a few different files or whatever. Username, passwords that we got here, so that's good for us, right? We did see some accounts they said were SPN, right? Kerber roastable. Where was it? List all Kerber roastable. All right, there's our Kerber roastable accounts. We could do that with get user SPN.py. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll just throw Agna in here. Agna.eran. Password. We go ahead and throw that into cur.text, I guess. And we cat that cur.text. And there we go. There's our Kerber roastable users. And then we can definitely use John hash.text, tech format, or we'll just say enter. And I believe it tells us, yep, tech format. Sorry, that should be on cur.text, excuse me. Should say that it's, we have to put in that's KRB TG tech format equals KRBT. If you hit tab with John the Ripper also, you can bring up the rest of it. KRB5. There we go. KRB5. TGS. And there we go. All right, so we found that out through Bloodhound, right? That we have those Kerber roastable users. We found out through Bloodhound that we had ASREP roastable users. We can find our shortest path from own principals, shortest path to domain admins. All right, we can see how do we get 2 domain admins, right? Such as in Catherine, whoever has generic right, it looks like, over this person right here who is a member of the office admins who have DC sync rights. So if we look at that generic right, we click on help, Linux abuse, we can go ahead and do a targeted Kerberos attack against that person, or we could also do a shadow credentials attack with Pie Whisker. Windows abuse, I believe we could try to reset her password with set domain object. Yeah, it looks like we could try to, okay, we get the SPN ticket. All right, so that's going to be another, and we'd have to crack her password for Rania Oneida. All right. Over here, we have Carrie Charlene, who has right order over Ali or some of that. We'll go with this, Linux abuse, and that's an order edit and DACO edit again. We also have our groups up here, right? So we have account operators group, who has generic all privileges over a user. We go to Linux abuse, targeted Kerberos again. We have add credential link. Don't know if this can do anything for us. It looks like it can. Pie Whisker can mess with that. And yep, we can just kind of go through and see what can we actually do with all these different things, right? But you saw that we could mark users as owned. We can mark users as high value. So let's say Rhonda is actually our high value target. We can mark users as a high value target, like right there. We can take away those markings, right click, unmark her. All right, we can edit her. So we can edit the node. Okay, put in a bunch of things. If maybe we saw something or maybe we changed something on there, we can go ahead and edit that and everything like that. And yeah, this just kind of breaks down your entire Active Directory domain for you. And you can see how large this could actually get and how quickly it get out of control. There's also another thing that we could do. We could do, what was her name? Agna Uran, right? Now let's say we don't know anything else about her. We want to click on roadmap here. Our target node, let's say, is domain admin. All right. This is going to show us if we're able to even get to domain admin or whatever else, which we are obviously because we have that DC sync. So we could do something like that. We could say executives, like what's the shortest path to get to executives group. All right, we're already a member of it actually. We're a member of executives. So we can take executives, say, hey, you guys are owned now. All right, click on them and see what else executives can do. And just keep kind of moving through here and seeing what happens, what we can do, and things like that, right? But the right click, doing the Linux abuse, using Windows abuse, just kind of understand how it works. Scrolling down, looking at everything on here, because you'll see some things on here that are like, huh, that's weird, you know. These are all outbounds. These are all things that I could do, okay, from executives. I can get changes all for invoke.local. I don't know if we can do anything with that. Got secret dumps. Oh yeah, get changes all is secret dumps. Get changes and get changes filter set. So it'll be get changes all. I could also do a write DACL over Ardeen Sial. All right. So there's all that stuff. Okay. We also have inbound. What are we working against? Right. Inbound control rights. Okay. And who can mess with that? Right. So these users like right here have inbound control rights, and these groups have inbound control rights over executives. And we can see kind of how these work, such as this user here has generic all over a group, okay, which means that we can actually add members to that group. So if we were to become this user over here, Nicole Molly, right, and she has that right, or excuse me, Alexina Kelly, and she has that generic all, we could end up putting her in executives, which then, when you're an executive, you can then use DC sync and secrets dump to go from there. So you want to know also not only what you're working with, but also what's working against you and who else can talk to you in those different groups. All right, this is a very good tool, but one thing I learned during the Certified Red Team Professional, it is not an end-all, be-all kind of tool. All right, don't just look at this and be like, oh, okay, this must be the attack path. That may not be it. It may not work. It may not show you everything that you can do. All right, so make sure you're still doing that manual enumeration. This is just another tool to be able to help you with that enumeration steps. Hopefully you guys liked it, and I will talk to you all later.